It's movie night with Will Davakis. No special guest this week. Main theme by Here Come the Mummies. Music by Adam Clifton. And because he's got 3 ex-wives and has to pay alimony, here's your host, Will Davakis.
Oh, hey there. Hello there. This is your movie night. I'm Will Davakis. Guys, boy, we had fun last Thursday, didn't we? Had a couple people come in the room, do some trivia, won some items. Some of you, though, need to work on your trivia. I was very disappointed in that, but you all tried, and some of you guys got some awards. And, you know, we're mailing out your prizes. All prizes have been mailed out. So all prizes have been mailed out, and you should be receiving them soon. All right, guys, well, let's get to our headlines.
This week's headlines are brought to you by Millsboro Music.
So some very interesting stuff going on in the news today, some stuff that I never thought I would see, at least today. But one of the stories that caught my interest and tickled my fancy was that the original creators, writers, and directors of the original Ghoulies film, Luca Baracovi and Jeffrey Levy, they've created a petition to convince Sony to let them remake the film. Now, this is an idea I can get behind because when I was a kid, I was absolutely terrified by that box art cover of the ghoulie sitting in the toilet, and I didn't want to use the toilet for almost years. I would always constantly look before using it. So if I had to deal with that, so do the generations of kids coming up. So I agree with them. I think we should remake this movie. And plus, there's a whole bunch of ground that hasn't been covered yet with the ghoulie movies. You could do all kinds of crazy things. You know, sure, we saw them in a circus. Sure, we saw them, going to college. But we never really saw them in a big city. So maybe that's a plan. I don't know. I think it's a good idea. I'm for it. If you want to sign the petition, link is in the description. Let's convince the Sony CEO, Tony Vinciquerra. I'm sorry if I'm butchering that. But let's convince Sony that we need another Ghoulies. Now, if you don't know much about Ghoulies, like everything in the 80s, you had the innovator, and then you had the people who kind of ripped it off. Now, I want to say that Ghoulies did not really rip off Gremlins. Everybody was always like, oh, it's a small monster film. Gremlins came first. I believe Ghoulies was developed before Gremlins. And Ghoulies has a different kind of story than Gremlins, a little darker. It's a horror comedy, but I digress. If you haven't seen Ghoulies, what the fuck are you doing with your life? Go check it out, please. Come on. So check out Ghoulies, check out Gremlins, check out Critters. They're all small feature films with little creatures running around, great for special effects. Maybe one day I'll direct a Ghoulies or a Critters 9 or something like that. Anyway, check out the petition link. Let's get Ghoulies made again, and let's have fun with it. Lucasfilm Story Group creative executive Matt Martin has come out telling fans that they need to relax when it comes to canon, that none of it's real anyway. Son of a bitch.
It's gonna be okay.
You goddamn no good son of a
no.
bitch. You son of a bitch.
It's all good.
Due to technical difficulties, we will be right back.
Indie horror film Scare Package is heading to streaming service Shudder. If you don't have Shudder, you should be signing up for Shudder. It's cheap. It's like $5.99. If that. Maybe it's $4.99. You should get it. Go to Shudder, sign up now. Nothing but horror films. I'm a huge horror film fan. Joe Bob Briggs, Darcy on there every Friday at 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Check it out. Will says, check it out. Get Shudder. Anyway, this movie Scare Package is a really cool looking film. Now, when I first saw the box art cover, the poster, it looks like a mixture between House and your local grimy old video store, which were the freaking best, right? So in the poster, you have the severed hand holding the movie Scare Package. I think it looks awesome. And the film is actually like an anthology, similar to Creepshow. And each segment in this is like a different subgenre of like a horror film. So you probably have some zombies in there, vampires, werewolves, women in prison films maybe. I don't know if they've gone that extreme. Whoever developed this movie, why didn't you call me? Like, this is exactly what I was thinking. I always wanted to do something like this. So if you do Scare Package 2, Willowbachus wants in, and we're going to have some fun. So be sure to check out Scare Package. I believe it was June 18th. You know, this is a horror film made by horror fans, for horror fans, which is really cool. And they kind of play up on all the tropes and cliches that you either love or hate. You have a love-or-hate relationship with. So definitely check this movie out. Show it some support. And you know what? I want everybody, whoever does watch it, I want you guys to write a review or even just do a video review of the movie. Help this movie get seen because it's very independent and it looks really cool. Timothy Olyphant has been cast in season 2 of The Mandalorian.
Who's that?
Timothy Olyphant has been cast. He is going to be playing an interesting role.
Well, who's playing what role? Who? What's his name?
Timothy Olyphant.
Okay.
I'm a big fan of Timothy Olyphant. I think he's going to be a great, fine actor in this. He's been in a lot of Western stuff. He's got a good look to him, and he's a very, very fine actor.
Who's you talking about?
Timothy Olyphant!
I'm sorry, I'm lost.
So look forward to seeing him in season 2 of The Mandalorian.
Who?
Ladies and gentlemen, please stand by while Will gets his shit together.
In case you wanted some Apple AirPods, they are the cheapest they've ever been now, according to Amazon. They're only $139, but Facebook Marketplace begs to differ. I'm sure you can find them cheaper. So if you want to get a pair of Apple AirPods for $139, you can get them, link in the description. Always trying to help out fellow filmmakers have decent audio. I know people who have actually made movies where they recorded audio through their AirPods. I haven't done it, so I can't tell you how it looks or sounds, but we'll find out when a slew of these will come out after the quarantine's over. The Purge 5's July theatrical release has been, well, lack of better words, purged temporarily. I'm sure it'll come back out, and we'll find out more of whatever that is of the Purge 5. Some sad news in the news today. Jerry Stiller, Ben Stiller's father, has passed away. He was, I believe, 139. No, that's the price of the damn AirPods. Holy shit. He was 92. I'm sorry, that was a bad joke. That was a terrible joke. Now, Jerry Stiller, you might know him from Seinfeld, King of Queens. He was just one of those guys that he had a funny look to him and a presence. Like, he could walk in a room, and no matter what he's doing in that show or in that movie or even stand-up, just make me laugh. Like, I know a lot of comics that I've met who are just like, God, man, Jerry Stiller's just funny. It's just, he had that presence about him. He passed away at 92. I almost couldn't believe it. Also passing away is another comedic legend, one of my favorites, Fred Willard. Fred Willard was 86 years old. You might have seen him in a lot of movies, such as like Anchorman. He was in a lot of Christopher Guest mockumentaries, Waiting for Kaufman, Best in Show. It's amazing how many comedians have come across recently to just kind of show support for both comedic legends, Jerry Stiller, and for Fred Willard. Fred was a guy that, I didn't know him personally, but everything he ever did, like I was laughing my ass off, and he was such a natural at it, and he was just so good and to the point, and he could just literally walk on stage for 5 seconds and say 2 words, and I was just kind of like, this guy's one of the funnier actors I've ever seen in the movie that I was watching. He always stole the show. He was very natural at it. I can't say anything but nice things about him, even though there was a report that he did some sort of lewd act in a movie theater about like 10 years ago. He was in an adult theater when that happened. Not saying it was right, but we don't know the full story about what happened. I wasn't there. It doesn't change the fact that he was a very funny man. And there's a lot of people, these comedians now who are on Twitter and Instagram, like Gilbert Gottfried did a beautiful post about Fred Willard and it's just great to see that. All these comedians are coming together to kind of speak about both Jerry and Fred. And I just want to say that they were two great legends who we were very lucky to have in our lives, you know. Also passing away was Lynn Shelton, a acclaimed director. She did a movie called Hump Day, and I believe she did Sword of Trust. She passed away at 54. Her films were like more intimate drama/comedies, and she was a really, really good director. She was one of those people who believed that she started her career too late, and I disagree. But it's a shame that we lost her too early. My heart goes out to her family and to Mark Maron, who I believe she had a relationship with near the end of her life. God, this is just kind of depressing. You know what? I just want to say, let's take a beat for those who have passed. And let's remember that they're going to forever be here in the art that they created. So if we could just take a beat. All right, I believe there's an owl, I hear. I think we have some viewer mail. Hopefully that is going to be a good thing and not more depressing BS. So, Alfred, what do you got? Thank you, Alfred. All right, so some viewer mail here. If you want to send us viewer mail, go ahead. If you want to send us some viewer mail, go to movienighttalkshow@gmail.com. Send us anything from, hey, here's my movie, to, hey, you suck. Anything that you want to send us, we'll read on air more than likely. We're hemorrhaging time, so we have plenty of fun things to read here. To whom it may concern, this is Tommy. Jesus. To whom it may concern, this is Thomas T. Tellington of Tellington and Swartz. We've sent you numerous letters, voicemails, and other correspondence in regards to our client's demands that you acknowledge your part in the subway sneeze guard incident of 2008.
Never heard.
We have irrefutable evidence as to your act of self-induced flatulence into the salami, American cheese, Swiss cheese, ciabatta rolls, and those little cookies you can get as an add-on. Please respond and return in the self-addressed envelope, TT Tellington and Swartz, PA. There's no self-addressed envelope. Well, Mr. Tellington, I don't know what you're talking about. I love Subway, and I would never treat the good people of Subway and its patrons like that. I enjoy eating at Subway. One of my favorite subs there is a turkey sub, because it's good and high in protein and not very salty. And I also would never do that. I would never defile the cookies in that manner. I mean, I love their oats. Now listen, now I'm getting ticked off, Mr. Tellington. I don't know who you are to begin with, but the fact that this is slander.
Libel.
Yeah. I need a lawyer. Can I call you, Mr. Tellington, to sue you about this situation? There is no way that I would do that to those cookies or to that meat or the cheese, which one of my favorite cheeses is the white American cheese. And not because it's white. That's right. SJWs can go fuck off with that bullshit. Anyway, Mr. Tellington, I did not do what you said. And I'm going to continue my... And $400? So the cat must have gotten on my computer and ordered $400 worth of Meow Mix. They're going to have to get that money when I'm dead. They're going to have to get like my kids to pay for that shit. All right, last but not least, this better be a good one because these have been shitty. Here we go. You suck. I'd rather have a warm diet pop on a hot summer day than watch this garbage. Garbage. They misspelled garbage. Stu Pedasso. Oh, Stu, I'm sorry you feel that way. I really enjoy doing the show, and I'm sorry you don't like it. There's something you can do if you don't like the show. It's called stop watching it And don't make a big scene about it. If you don't like it, go watch your cat videos or Teletubbies or whatever. So, fuck off, Stu. All right. Hey, look, if you like independent cinema like I do, like the gooey, bloody, gory, crazy cinema, you should check out Troma Now. Troma Now is a pretty neat little app. It's like a thing you can subscribe for. It's only like $4.99 a month. You can get all kinds of really cool independent cinemas, and you'd be supporting cinemas, movies. You'd be supporting Lloyd Kaufman and Troma. Troma is a really cool, it's one of the oldest, if not the oldest, independent movie studio out there. They not only do they accept movies from people like me, jackholes who don't know what they're doing, but they would also, I'm pretty sure they would accept a movie from you. So check it out. All you have to do is go to, I believe it's watch.troma.com and subscribe for Troma Now. Very cool, man. It is really neat stuff. Check it out. Also, last but not least, I watched The Last Drive-In on Shudder this past Friday. And they had 2 films. One was a Troma film, Troma's War, which is to me, it is the best Troma film ever made. Why? Has everything. Violence, sex, drugs, AIDS, everything. Awesome film. Big, it was Troma's way of making these big action-packed movies on a budget. I think they spent $3 million, the biggest budget they've had. But it was probably one of the best movies I've ever seen. Next to The Toxic Avenger. Joe Bob had a speech at the very end of the last movie, which was One Cut of the Dead, where I believe, if you haven't seen the speech, the link will be in the description. We're going to play a little bit of the speech for you during the Martini Shot. But every filmmaker, not even just every filmmaker, every artist, whether you're a musician, you're a painter, a sculptor, a special effect, everybody should listen to this thing, okay? Because it does affect everybody. It's not just filmmakers. Keep creating, guys. Don't give up. And that's pretty much what sums this whole thing up. Joe Bob mentions it in his thing, fuck aspiring. You're no longer aspiring. Whether you're a musician, an artist, you're an artist. You're a musician. He says it better than me. I don't want to butcher it, but I just want you guys to know that you're going to have, whether you're making movies or anything else, you're going to have your haters. Trust me, I have mine, and I love them. But you're also going to have your supporters. And your supporters, to me, they outweigh anything than the fucking haters. So keep making great art. Don't give in to depression. And I leave you with this. Guys, this is your Martini Shot. Take care and have a good night.
Wait, who?
Timothy Olyphant.
First of all, stop being an aspiring filmmaker. Never again use the word aspiring. When you wake up tomorrow morning and every day after that, you're a director. You may do any number of jobs to make money, but the first thing you do every day is you plan your writing and your directing and your producing work for that day. I don't care if you only have 10 minutes of free time. You devote that time to your movie because you're a filmmaker. That's your real job. You're not an auto body repairman. Call yourself a filmmaker. Make filmmaking decisions. Fuck aspiring, all right?
Who?
Oh, I'm taking that painting. Watch me.
Who?